pitch. And he's done it. He strikes out the side in the 9th inning. And Jake Arrieta has thrown his first career no-hitter.
A no-hitter by Jake Arrieta, who was utterly brilliant tonight.
Feels like that could have been just 5 innings the way it kind of played out. Stuff was good, commanded the ball well, and then, that's it. I don't know. That's kind of speechless right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the area behind home plate. On behalf of the Chicago Cubs, Chairman Tom Ricketts, Cubs pitching coach Chris Bosio, and last night's catcher Miguel Montero are here to present Jake with his game-worn jersey from last night, along with a watch and photo montage to commemorate his first career no-hitter. Congratulations, Jake Arrieta, on throwing the 14th no-hitter in franchise history.
Pretty exciting. Jake Arrieta, about 24 hours after making history in Los Angeles. Miguel Montero catching the second no-hitter of his career. And what a magical night in Los Angeles. And oh, by the way, the Cubs snapped a 4-game losing streak, so it was a huge win.
Yeah, they won 2 games on the road trip. Arrieta won both of them. Remember, he won that first game in San Francisco. Then the Cubs dropped 4 in a row. I don't think you can ever say a no-hitter is inevitable or predictable, because there's been a lot of great pitchers over the years that have not thrown one. But the way he has gone along the last couple of years, if you had to lay money on one guy, Jake Arrieta might be your man. And check out the month of August he has had. 6-0 with an 0.43 earned run average. Absolute brilliance by the big right-hander.
No surprise, already named the National League Player of the Week. He should have National League Pitcher of the Month as part of his accolades as well. Right now, his ERA is a half a run higher than Zach Greinke's, but if Greinke has any stumble at all and Jake continues to pitch the way he has, he's got 17 wins. He definitely could win the National League Cy Young. Reds and Cubs are coming up to open this series.
Indiana Lexus dealer who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all. AT&T Uverse. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIG-ATT, mobilizing your world. Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com.
So here we go. The Cubs are home for the next 6. First of 3 against the Cincinnati Reds, who are really struggling. They come in buried in last place, 4th worst record in Major League Baseball. Cubs with a 5.5 game lead for the second wild card. We're going to have some fun tonight. Middle 3, we're going to do an old school switcheroo as Ron Coomer, Cubs radio analyst, will head on over here. And my partner, Jim DeShays, will do the play-by-play. So we'll have the pitcher and the position player. I'll head over, do a little radio with Mark Grody, Pat Hughes with his final scheduled off day of the season. So we're going to mix it up, keep it fresh.
Yeah, we're going to get Coom over here, and we're going to throw the spotlight on Coom and get some deep analysis from the former third stacker.
Let's get the Reds Southwest starting lineup. Veteran Jason Bourgeois is in. Billy Hamilton on the disabled list. Bruce, Votto, Phillips, and Frazier, guys who've been with them now for a bit. Ivan De Jesus plays left. Eugenio Suarez is the shortstop. It's Tucker Barnhart, the switch-hitting catcher. And rookie pitcher Michael Lorenzen will bat 9th.
Cubs defense brought to you by Sleepy's, the only mattress professionals. See a little different look as Chris Bryant gets a start in right field. Fowler's in center. Coughlin slides over to left. Tommy La Stella makes his second start at third base. Russell and Castro in the middle. Anthony Rizzo over at first. Kyle Schwarber behind the plate. And on the mound is 25-year-old right-hander Kyle Hendricks, making his 26th start. He's 6 up, 5 down, 3.97 the ERA. Hendricks pitched pretty well in a losing effort last time out against the Giants.
Paul Schreiber will call balls and strikes. The crew chief is fielding Colbreth. He's at first. Manny Gonzalez at second, and Jim Reynolds is at third. And we'll have more details later, but the Cubs made a trade today. They have acquired outfielder Austin Jackson and a cash consideration from the Seattle Mariners for an international signing bonus slot and a player to be named. The rosters will expand tomorrow on September 1st, so we expect Jackson here with a few other guys as well. Kind of a mild night, a little bit muggy, but not too warm.
No, a little breezy, a little hazy. The ball's going to carry pretty well to left.
And here we go. Hendricks to Bourgeois, and that's a sinking fastball for a strike at 87 miles an hour.
This is Kyle's third start against Cincinnati this year. Pitched a solid ball game back in June in this ballpark against the Reds. 5 innings of 1-run baseball. And was a loser in his last start against the Reds July 22nd. Game the Cubs lost 9-1. He allowed 5 runs in 6 innings.
It's to 90 on the gun that time outside. Ball 1, 1-2. Cubs 74 up, 55 down. It's way inside, almost hit him. And you may recall the Cubs won 73 games the entire season last year. Still have 33 games left here in 2015. Softly tapped on the ground, and that'll be an infield hit for Bourgeois as Tommy La Stella tried to make a barehanded play and could not.
Yeah, Bourgeois,
no hitter tonight.
Yeah,
JD.
there goes the no hitter. There goes history. So if it's a one-hitter and that's the only hit, then Kyle Hendricks will have had himself a heck of a night. Tommy La Stella looked like initially when he broke for that ball was thinking about gloving it, but then with the pace and Bourgeois going down the line, thought better of it, figured the bare hand was the best option, probably was, but he never got the handle.
Now right fielder Jay Bruce. Been a bit of a bounce back year for him, although he's kind of been up and down. He was hitting 162 on May 14th. Then got hot over his next 66 games, was hitting 306. then slumped again over the next 3.5 weeks. In his last 2 games, he's 4 out of 9. And that one boxed by Schwarber, and it should be a passed ball, and Bourgeois now at second.
Normally you think of Kyle Hendricks as a pretty easy guy to catch because he's not overpowering, but he does have a lot of movement. The ball sinks down and away. He'll cut it in, so it'll be a little bit of a challenge for a catcher. And had a little late cutting action. If the Cub players were a little fatigued this evening, it would be understandable. An early morning arrival after the in-flight pajama party.
1-1. He's hit in the air to left. Chris Coghlan makes the catch. Bourgeois has to hold it second. 1 out.
If you commit to wearing the superhero onesies and such on the flight home, it's always nice to win the game beforehand, and doubly nice when the pitcher goes out there and throws a no-hitter.
Joey Votto putting together quite a second half. His on-base percentage since the All-Star break is .571.
Yeah, it's just incredible how good he's been. He did not make the All-Star team, and it's almost like he said, "Oh yeah, look what I can do."
2 for 4, 2 homers against Kyle Hendricks. July 22nd in Cincinnati in a doubleheader. Votto went 5 for 6 with 4 walks, so that's 9 reaches in 1 day.
Yeah, he's slugging better than 700 after the break too, so it's not just high average and taking a lot of walks. He's driving the ball.
This was in June here in Chicago. And then July in Cincinnati. Hendricks, 2 starts here, 2 starts there in his career against the Reds, and he's been a lot better here.
Votto, he's way up in the box, anticipating that sinker.
He is a thinker, no doubt. And the guy behind the plate right now grew up idolizing Joey Votto. Kyle Schwarber was a Reds fan in Middletown, Ohio, and he has studied Votto a lot and the way he goes about his business at the plate. That's on the outside corner for a strike. 3-1.
3-0 Leo there. Yeah, I often use the metaphor or the analogy of comparing pitchers to the Saturday or the Sunday crossword or a 4-star Sudoku, the really tough ones. That's what Votto is as a hitter for a pitcher. How do you solve this guy?
Back in the box for that pitch, which is taken for ball 4.
And if you're pitching and the guy's doing that, you can't let that affect you because that can get deep in your head. If the guy's dancing around in the box like he knows what's coming before you even throw the pitch, if you dwell on that as a pitcher, you're just going to be all tied up in knots.
Brandon Phillips hitting for average. Power has diminished over the last few years. He's hit in 6 different spots in the Reds order, mostly leadoff and making his 20th start in the cleanup spot. And he bats with 2 on and 1 out here in the very first inning. That's a strike. 75 degrees. They're calling the wind out of the east at 4 miles an hour. East southeast at the moment. Kick and a pitch, and he bounced it in front of the plate. 1-1.
Hendricks usually with very good control. In his start in San Francisco the other day, he walked 3 all in the first inning. Gave up 2 in the first, then he settled in, got into a very nice rhythm, faced the minimum until the 6th, and then he started to elevate a little bit and gave up 3 big extra base hits. Ended up allowing 4 runs and a 4-2 Cub loss.
Runners go, and there's a high bouncer right to second. Out there, double play. It took Castro right to the bag. He beat Votto there. And the Cubs turn it to get Hendricks out of the first. We'll donate $100 to Make-A-Wish Illinois. And as we check in on the Cubs Southwest starting lineup, last 5 games, 8 runs combined and a lot of strikeouts, 59 punch-outs in this stretch. Fowler, Schwarber, Coghlan at the top. Rizzo, Bryant, who hit the game-winning homer in the first last night, and Listella in the middle. Castro had 3 hits on Sunday. Hendricks the pitcher, and Russell the shortstop.
Reds defensively brought to you by Sleepy's. Ivan De Jesus can play all over. He's in left tonight. Billy Hamilton's on the DL, so Jason Bourgeois gets to start in center. Jay Bruce patrols right field, as he does on a nightly basis. Frazier, Suarez, Phillips, Votto, third to first. Tucker Barnhart will do the catching tonight. The Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher for the Reds is Michael Lorenzen.
6'3", 205, and a strike. He's just back from the minor leagues.
Yeah, and he's pursuing perfection. He's just pursuing consistency right now. He's a young guy with a good arm, good stuff, a tremendous athlete, two-way player in college, but he has really struggled. Demoted to the minor leagues, pitched well there, so back here at the big league level with a chance.
A rookie-laden starting rotation. He's one of 8 rookie starting pitchers the Reds have used already this season. 5, including Lorenzen, have made their major league debut, so they're taking their lumps.
Yeah, and so they're running all these rookie pitchers out there, and they're also not scoring runs. They got this veteran position players, but they're not hitting much.
That will get into left. Fowler around first, and he's on his way to second. And he's got a double. How about this? In the 3 games at Dodger Stadium, Fowler had 5 hits, 2 doubles, 2 walks, and he did not score a run. So he was doing his job by getting on base. Now his teammates have to get him in.
A little running fastball well off the outside corner. Punches it down the third base line for a leadoff double. Yeah, I recall at least one occasion on the trip when Fowler started the inning with a double and did not move. A little different though. The pitching matchups soften a little bit here in this series compared to what the Cubs have seen of late.
Schwarber trying to end an 0 for 11. And he takes a strike. Two first inning runs on the Chris Bryant homer last night, all that Jake Arrieta needed. They had a lot of chances to get more than the 2 runs they ended up with. Cubs left 12 men on base, and at least 2 on in 5 of the 9 innings. Slide step in the pitch, and that one hit pretty well the other way, but De Jesus will make the catch, and Fowler has to remain at second. Chris Coghlan. Well, a good problem to have for Joe Maddon starting tomorrow, right? Austin Jackson adding to outfield depth. We expect Javier Baez to be here, if not tomorrow, within the next few days from AAA. Tommy La Stella here. Obviously, Jorge Soler is on the disabled list. At second base and right field, JD, you've got several different options moving forward.
And I fully expect Joe to use those options liberally. Be able to wheel and deal depending on the pitcher on the mound, the matchup, whether it's a lefty or righty, whether it's a power guy, finesse guy. If he wants to emphasize offense over defense, all those things in play for Maddon with the rosters expanding, even more so than they have been all year.
So this is an intriguing acquisition, the second one the Cubs have made involving a Seattle Mariner. Brought in Fernando Rodney and now Austin Jackson, who has played exclusively in center field at the big league level, but I would imagine he'll get some time on the corner spots with Dexter Fowler getting almost all the action out in center. Coghlan strikes out 2 away, so it'll be up to Rizzo. As you said, Fowler still at second base with 2 outs. Nice hand for Anthony Rizzo.
And not that you would do it now with 2 outs, but if you were thinking about, well, if we're having a hard time getting hits, try to steal a base. Tougher to do with left-handed hitters up there, Schwarber and Coghlan, so not a real great opportunity for Fowler to try to run his way to third base. He's just going to have to wait for somebody to drive him in. And Rizzo's been the man this year for the Cubs. See how aggressive Lorenzen is with him. A couple pitches out of the zone to get started with a base open.
Rizzo these last couple of years in particular has shown a lot of Joey Votto tendencies. He's cut down his strikeouts, shorten up against lefties, will occasionally move around a little bit in the batter's box.
And like Votto, occasionally he'll turn it loose on 3-0 and try to ambush a pitcher. Not that time. Lorenzen's got a good arm. He'll max out at 97. He'll sit comfortably 93, 94. You saw that one 95. There was a slider, a curve, and a change.
Cubs don't want to waste that leadoff double. There's an aggressive swing, 3-2. Mention the fatigue. I don't know how your body usually operates coming back from the West Coast and having your sleep all messed up. For me, it's always the day after. I always feel a little more groggy tomorrow.
That's not uncommon. Yeah.
We'll see how the Cubs position players react tonight. They're getting to sleep at around probably 5:30, 6 o'clock this morning. So Lorenzen gets out of it, leadoff double, no runs, and we're scoreless after 1.
is hoping to help the Fighting Irish find their way to the top. Get to know freshman Golden Domer Miles Boykin. Don't miss Play Like a Champion. Miles Boykin's Journey to Notre Dame premiering Thursday at 7 on CSN Chicago. Well, we've been talking a lot about Jake Arrieta's no-hitter, and what better way to celebrate than with a pajama party? And these guys threw an epic one with onesies. Take a look at this selfie by Anthony Rizzo. Of course, Joe Madden wanting the guys to be comfortable on their trip back, long trip back from Los Angeles. So onesies were the dress code, and these guys really got into it. My favorite might have been Jake Arrieta's with the mustaches, and he told us actually today, guys, he found that a few years ago on a rehab assignment in Tennessee and had been waiting all this time for the perfect opportunity to wear it, and he finally had it last night. Pretty nice, right?
I don't believe it. That's too good. That's too good a story to be true.
Amazing preparation.
He found a pair of onesies that actually fit him perfectly for this moment. After he throws a no-hitter. That's the GQ look.
Yeah, his onesie actually matched his hat. Not only a onesie, but he's color coordinated. And they're in the spirit of things here.
Getting into the act. No, I did not wear a onesie. I did not want to show anybody up.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. As broadcasters, you don't have access to a locker room to change.
Right.
So it would have been hard to. That would have been a fun game to do. Oh, well.
3-2 on Frazier. That ball hit hard and foul. So your story was you actually were flying home and you listened to the game and
Lori and I, we landed in O'Hare, and Lori says her phone came on. She goes, "The Cubs are winning," and I looked at my phone and I saw the line score, and I said, Jake's got a no-no going. We were in like about the 8th. And so I put one plug in her ear and one in my ear as we walked through the airport watching the video on the phone, which was a lot of fun.
In the air to deep center. Fowler going back on it. And he gets to the spot.
Yeah, maybe that wind is going to knock it down a little bit. Frazier put a pretty good charge in that one. Yeah, and then we get into a cab. And the cabbie had been listening to the game. And it was really cool. He's like this 75-year-old guy from India. And he was really into the game. And when he got the no-no, the volume cranked up, and he pumps his fist. And so it was kind of a neat moment to share it with a fan. And then his next remark was really good. He said, maybe now he'll shave his beard. I don't know. Don't know what the motivation for that was, but
it was pretty special. Strike. Ivan De Jesus. His father played for and coached for the Cubs. Playing left field tonight. Marlon Byrd recently traded to San Francisco. Strike 2. Kind of mixing and matching out there.
Yeah, talking about the hand that Brian Price has been dealt here in the second half of the year. Cueto dealt, Leake dealt, Marlon Byrd dealt, and a rotation full of rookies. The Reds have won just 5 times in their last 25 tries.
Did not get him to chase. Well, I was hanging with the radio guys last night, and I got a chance to interview Jake and Miguel Montero after the game together. It was really neat to be in the dugout right after history was made. And to say this team was excited would be a huge understatement. I specifically think of Chris Bosio, who actually threw a no-hitter of his own when he was with the Seattle Mariners over 20 years ago, and that's as excited, JD, as I've ever seen him, and he had that proud father
kind of beaming. Yeah, he puts in an awful lot of work. Mike Borzello, who puts together the pitching plan, he had to feel awfully good about how things went about. And Jake had his wife and kids on the trip too, right? So that was even better.
One strike on Eugenio Suarez. Big time opportunity was Zach Cozart. I think his season ended in June due to a right knee injury. You use the word inevitability, and we both had that feeling that this was going to happen at some point. Swing and a miss, 1-2. And it may not be the only one he throws. And it also looked like Jake could have gone 12 innings if needed.
Well, the way he initially reacted, I thought he was like, let's keep on going. It was a fairly subtle reaction after he got it. Well, and that's the other part of it too. It didn't create that issue for Joe Madden where he had to worry about the pitch count because he was so efficient. He ended up throwing 116 pitches. And that takes me back to a couple of starts ago when Joe took Arrieta out of a game. He had a big lead, and it was only after 6, and we saw Jake lobbying to stay in the game, and talking with Joe afterwards. I told him, hey, you might need those bullets down the road.
Two and two on Suarez, top of the second. Edwards looking for his second strikeout. He won't get it, but weak contact on the ground, and Castro will make the play. The visitors go down 1, 2, 3. What a night it was for Jake Arrieta. The next 2 dates against the Reds, that's tomorrow night and then 1:20 on Wednesday. As always, visit Cubs.com to purchase seats and get the latest game time updates. Chris Bryant will lead it off. Winning 2-run homer in the first last night. His first road home run since June 17th in Cleveland. That happened to be a grand slam off outfielder David Murphy in a Cubs blowout win. Finishing up a solid month of August. That is a fair ball. Backhanded neatly by Frazier. Long throw, and he got him.
Frazier, the complete package, solid defender, obviously an outstanding hitter. Good strong arm to get Bryant. Now time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag Northside Data Strong fan, and you just might see yourself later in the game. Brought to you by T-Mobile.
Two strikes on Tommy La Stella. Played inside. He's playing third in this game tonight. He was a shortstop as a kid, second baseman as a pro until he got traded to the Cubs, and they said you might want to learn a little third, which he did in spring training. Lorenzen off the back of the mound, low throw, but Votto makes the adjustment. And it's out number 2.
Yeah, well, versatility, obviously, that could be a key to a guy's longevity or staying power in the big leagues.
Three hits, including a double last night. A couple of nice defensive plays, and a much talked about error he committed in the third inning. Did you think it was an error?
Well, I've seen the replay multiple times, and I would say that I would not quibble with either decision had the scorer called it a hit. I would have understood that. If I'm an official scorer, especially with a guy like Arrieta on the mound, I'm making sure that first base hit is a clean one because I don't want to have to go back and revisit it.
Phillips will get him. Cubs go down quietly. 3 ground ball outs in the second. To the third, 0-0.
Side after the game on Wednesday, September 2nd. Well, it's just 2 days away. It will be an unforgettable night of amateur boxing, great food, and giving back to Chicago's youth. For tickets and venue details, visit CubsCharities.com.
Top of the third. For Barnhart, the switch hitting catcher lays down a pretty good bunt. Hendricks got him at first.
Calm, cool, collected in his approach to this bunt. You see Hendricks getting over there in good shape. Over the top throw. Got him by half a step. maybe a quarter of a step.
The pitcher Lorenzen, he went to Cal State Fullerton, and he played some outfield in college. As you can see, he can hit. He was drafted as a pitcher.
The Cubs outfield deployed as if he's not the hitter that he is. They're really shallow. Dexter Fowler in particular in center.
Yeah, I had a long chat with Dexter about how shallow he plays. Sitting with Manny Mota, Dodger great, watching the game last night, and he commented to me, he said, wow, Fowler is about as shallow as I've seen a center fielder play. And Dexter's thought is he's very comfortable going back on balls, and he said at Coors Field the biggest problem there wasn't that balls carried too far, it's that there was so much space between the infielders and outfielders that you get a lot of cheap hits. So his thought was, if a guy makes his pitch, I'd rather come in and make that play. And if a guy gets into one, so I'm probably not going to catch it anyway. Not every center fielder is comfortable going back on fly balls, so those guys tend to play a little deeper.
You know, the guy that we see in the National League, Juan Lagares, with the Mets, probably plays the most shallow center field of anybody currently in the game, certainly in the National League.
Got him on a changeup. Not in a great location, but it worked.
Yeah, it's one of his patented cut changeups. Lorenzen just swings through it.
There's Bourgeois, infield single to start the ball game. The only Reds hit. So the Reds rank 12th in the National League in runs. They lead the majors in steals with 116, although 54 of those have come from Billy Hamilton, who's currently on the DL. They walk a fair amount. They don't strike out that much. And again, a lot of those walks come from Joey Votto.
That Joey Votto has walked in 20% of his plate appearances.
What's the major league walk rate? 8%.
Walks more than he strikes out. He's hit 25 home runs. When you look at the rest of the lineup, there, you know, a couple guys a little above average, a couple a little below average. Votto really stands out in that regard. Bourgeois showing a little discipline there. That was a chase changeup down and away. He was able to lay off.
Fowler drifting a little bit. Under it. Inning over. Bottom three. Scoreless. Backs at 1:20. First 10,000 fans get a Cubs fleece blanket presented by Reynolds Wrap. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com. We have a very special belated birthday wish to a huge Cub fan. She's a queen for a day. Her name is Margie Bia. She turned 87 yesterday. A diehard Cubs fan. As Kyle Hendricks takes a strike. She had a stroke a few years ago. A hip replacement. Recently diagnosed with breast cancer, going through chemo at age 87. She has not been in this ballpark in a long time, but her son-in-law is right there on the right, just took his hat off. That's Jeff Murphy. And if you're a big-time music fan or you like power pop, you will know that Jeff Murphy, one of the founding members of Shoes from Zion, Illinois, one of my favorite bands, was picked by Frazier to get Hendricks. And Jeff and his wife bringing his mother-in-law to the game. And great to see Margie here at Wrigley Field. Looks like she's keeping score, too.
She's rocking that Go Cubs sash to go along with her crown. That's great.
Here's Addison Russell. Russell had a quiet road trip. 1 for 16, 7 strikeouts. But a lot of the offense had a pretty quiet week.
It's been a tough stretch going all the way back to that confrontation with Corey Kluber, the makeup game here. You get Bumgarner, Kershaw. Fitting that Arrieta would finish that week off the way he did. All the frontline pitching we saw.
Fastball at 95. You mentioned Lorenzen's got a good arm. Well, you ready to do a little play-by-play?
Yeah.
So let's go through your play-by-play resume.
Well, I used to do a lot in growing up in my house.
Okay,
by myself.
Counts. Sure.
You know, do a little play-by-play, brushing my teeth. I would do a little play-by-play in the dugout when I was a pitcher. I would hang out and try to entertain my teammates with some play-by-play. Usually they would move very far away from me when that happened. And since I actually started doing this for a living, I've done a few innings, mostly of radio in spring training back in Houston.
Nice. Yeah, we're just going to keep it fresh, mix it up a little bit, and Coom Dog will come over, and the pitcher and the
we're just going to talk some ball. We're going to hang out and watch a ball game together. Maybe eat some nuts.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. God forbid if I ever have a grabber up here, you might need to take over. So this would be good training for you.
Just step over you while you're on the floor and.
I'm having a grabber. Nice Zubaz. Here's Fowler. Way high, 1 ball, no strikes. Off the inside corner. Giants and Dodgers later tonight. Jake Peavy, Brett Anderson, the pitching matchup. So we'll do a little scoreboard watching. Late, that's driven deep. Left field corner, slicing, and it's gone! A basket shot for Dexter Fowler, and the Cubs lead 1-0.
That looks familiar. A whole bunch of those basket balls on the last homestand. So Fowler, who had the leadoff double with a ground ball down the third base line, first time up, gets an elevated two-seamer this time and lifts it into the basket and left. Never mind that leadoff double, he says. Nobody's going to drive me home. I'll drive myself home. Into the basket it goes. 15th home run for Fowler. That's your 4th home run replay. And the Cubs have a 1-0 lead.
3 home run he hits now, a new career high. Previous best 13 back in 2012 with the Rockies.
Yeah, and I was looking at Votto. We were talking about his second half. I was looking at the league leaderboard in the second half, and Fowler's rate. He's got the 5th best OPS in the National League since the All-Star game.
0-1 on Schwarber.
Not quite Votto, but still very good numbers by Fowler.
Foul tipped. It's 1-2.
Lefties have been a problem for Lorenzen, batting .329 against him, compared to .240 for right-handed hitters.
Swing and a miss, and that will end the inning. So Ron Coomer's going to head over. Dexter Fowler with an opposite field blast, and the Cubs lead 1-0 after 3.
Bring some Cheetos when you come back. Fourth, Cubs lead 1-0. You'll notice a little change here in the booth. Made a little line change. Coom, welcome in. Good to have you, buddy.
Thanks, JD. It's good to be here, and we got a little switch-o
Did you tag Len on the way through, like when you pitch run for somebody?
Or, one guy in, one guy out, tag, you're it, and Lenny's over there now.
All right, let's do it, man. Let's talk some ball.
Mm-hmm.
Jay Bruce to start things for the Reds here in the fourth. Flew to left, first time up. He's going to push him off with a little cutter up and in. Bruce, tremendous power. He's always been that guy. There's a lot of swing and miss in his game. Very streaky hitter. Should be easy for Hendricks. And another ground ball out. Hey, let's check in on Ron Coomer. Take a look at the profile on the Coom Dog, a local product, as you folks know. Good run with the Twins, and then moved around. Cubs, Yankees, Dodgers, an all-star in 1999, lifetime .273 average with 92 long ones.
Guy looks kind of
Styling
crabby.
there, Coom. You look,
looks kind of
you
crabby
look like
after
you're getting ready to charge the mound. Can we roll the video on that and see exactly where you're going?
Probably punched out and jogging back to the dugout is the way it looks, buddy.
Here comes Votto. Rarely does he go out of the zone, finds himself in many favorable counts. You have to admire a guy like this, Coom.
So far, so good for Kyle. This guy is one of those guys that as you guys I'm sure have talked about, he moves in the box quite a bit, which is kind of rare as he takes that one inside. Most hitters like to be in one spot in the batter's box, and that way you kind of get your own strike zone of where the outside corner is.
That's fairly typical from Votto right there. So he's off to another good night here tonight. Walk and a line drive single for Votto.
Maybe I should have done that more, Jimmy, because this guy can flat out hit. Kyle leaves a little two-seamer, it looks like, away, and Votto just hammers that ball back through the middle.
Yeah, well, he just has such great balance. And, you know, he was dancing around his first time up, moved way up in the box in anticipation of a pitch. And Ozzie Smith used to do that to me a little bit, and it always wigged me out. It's like, you know, what does he know that I don't know?
So was it trying to take away your changeup? Because that's what it would seem to me.
Yes.
Starlin with a little line drive and really no play at first base, and he flips that ball back towards Anthony, and Votto blocks Anthony out. And it's going to end up being an error on Starlin.
Yeah, you know, trying to make something that wasn't there, right? Just trying to be a little too quick. Anthony can't see it. Votto sets a pick. So line out E4 to get Votto into scoring position. I forgot I was doing the play-by-play there. I just started watching that play. Thanks for picking me up.
Hey, Casper, get over.
Here's the All-Star Todd Frazier.
That's what happens when they put two baseball guys sitting next to each other.
We're going to start daydreaming and drifting and
talking on how good we used to be.
Look at the setup here. 1.5 outside for Frazier. There goes Schwarber, and there's ball one. Frazier leads their club with 77 driven in, 30 home runs.
This guy, he made a nice play on Bryant, and the ball hit down the line by Chris. And he's just one of those guys, JD, to me, that's one of the core players. If you have a guy like this with big time pop in his bat and can be a good defender, you know, you look at him and his average decent.
Check that box. Well, right now they're clearly just not giving into him. So they got two fastballs well off the plate, off speed pitch down and away there. With the DeJesus Jr. on deck, Hendricks and Schwarber have decided to be very cautious here with Frazier with the base open. So how greedy does Frazier become in trying to drive this run home? It's always the challenge for a hitter, right? You're up there and you're going, okay, I get the deal. They're trying to pitch around me, but you know, the guy behind me is a young player. You know, should I be willing to expand my zone here to try to drive that run home? And if so doing, do I just make weak contact on a bad pitch?
Well, and as you just said, Frazier takes the walk. He had a pitch before this, that fastball inside that he could have turned on or tried to. He elects to just take some pitches and get the walk. I like the way Cal Hendricks has gone about his work today. He walked Votto in the first inning with the base open. And to me, you just pick certain guys that you really don't want to have beat you in this ball game. And I think we're seeing it right now, Votto being one, and now with the base open, electing to kind of semi-pitch around Todd Frazier.
Yeah, and then so obviously it becomes very important to finish that up and execute here with DeJesus, the strikeout victim, first time up, back in the second. Drops a little Picasso right on the knees.
One thing I've noticed today with Kyle pitching, and you being a pitcher could talk about it more, it seems like he's been a little more assertive with his fastball inside to the right-handers to maybe set up that cut changeup away.
Yeah, and just maybe a little bit more aggressive. I think, you know, last time out in that first inning, he walked 3, he gave up 2 runs, so you get the feeling that, you know, he came out here today with a mindset of, you know, try to establish early, fastball down, and he's signaling something there to Schwarber. And Chris Bosio looked like he was watching a tennis match in the dugout.
See, I always thought when a pitcher did that, he's going to the pine tar. But that's just a hitter's perspective, you know.
Yeah, you know, the pitchers are cheating. They're going to the pine tar. They're going to the emery board.
Well, you've had a chance to kind of take in what Jake did yesterday and hear what Jake had to say and everything. How about yesterday's ball game by Jake Arrieta?
It was not a fun one to miss. He'll be back out of play, evening the count at 2-2. Yeah, just, you know, Len and I were talking. There's been a lot of great pitchers in this game that have not thrown no-hitters. So you can't say it was an inevitable that he would throw one, but it sure felt that way. I mean, it just, with the runs he made at it last year, as dominant as his stuff is. You guys had fun, huh, calling that?
It was great. Lenny really helped our radio broadcast by being able to go down to the dugout and get Jake and Bosio and Montero. What a fun ball game yesterday.
This will score a run. Solid line drive single to center. Votto trots home. We are tied.
Well, DeJesus gets a fastball inside. Kyle, I think, really wanted to run that two-seamer in off the plate to set up something away and leaves it down and in the middle. And it ends up getting shot right back through the middle for an RBI single for DeJesus. And as you said, this game is tied. And those are the key things to me when you're playing a ball game, that if you're going to make mistakes, you can't make the mistake with runners in scoring position in the middle of the plate. If you make the mistake, you make it off the plate, and you don't pay the price. That time Kyle paid the price with that two-seamer.
You know, they were obviously pitching around Frazier, and DeJesus made him pay, but still a prudent strategy. You wouldn't give in to Frazier. There's ball one to Suarez. The rookie shortstop, nothing for one here tonight. He's having a nice year. He's hit 9 home runs. He's hitting for a high average. Taking advantage of a devastating injury to Zach Kozar early in the year. Suarez has taken over as the everyday guy at short.
Well, he's having a heck of a year too, isn't he?
Not sure exactly what the future will hold once Kozar gets back. He clearly has opened some eyes, not only with the Reds club, but everybody else around the league that's watched him play. Got a little game.
I just like his offensive approach. I mean, he's swung the bat well. He's got some pop in his bat, and in that ballpark in Cincinnati, you know, having a little thunder is a good thing because the ball really flies in Cincinnati.
The first little crisis point in this ball game for Hendricks. One in, couple on. And the guy again, even though he's down near the bottom of the order and might not have a great resume, he's got a little pop. 450 slugging average. He's hit 9 home runs. You see Hendricks being cautious, working down and away. And you look at that Honda pitch tracks when Hendricks is on his game. You're going to see everything pretty much from the lower third of that grid down. Mistake there, but he's going to get away with it. Sliced out to right. Bryant will put it away. And one more time, our Xfinity high-speed action. Let's turn the clock back to last night.
Base hits. 2 down, bottom of the 9th. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, a no-hitter. Jake Arrieta has just pitched a no-hitter at Dodger Stadium.
If you're just joining us, Len Casper was claimed on waivers by the San Diego Padres, reportedly on his way to San Diego as we speak. And Ron Coomer has been traded from the radio booth to the home television booth here for cash considerations.
Very little cash consideration. I thought Lenny got,
got the heave-ho.
He got wheeled to the other booth.
It would not be the first time in baseball history that announcers have been ejected. Here's Coughlin for the second time tonight. First time did not go well. He struck out swinging back in the first.
Looking at Lorenzen's numbers, his last 3 starts, Jimmy, in Louisville were very good. Deep into the ball game. 7, 8, and 9 innings. Not quite in that order, but he's a guy that has a good arm. Good fastball in the mid-90s. But his strikeout numbers are down in the big leagues, and I would anticipate those to go up.
Ooh, just foul. Would be double.
Coughlin hit a bullet. That's that fastball inside that Coughlin turned on and just missed hitting the line going down the first base line. But this guy's intriguing to me because he's got the good fastball. He's got a changeup, little slider. But with the good velocity, you would think if he's has a little better command.
A little quick pitch there, and this will be rolled out to Suarez on to Votto for out number 1.
Well, the quick pitch, we've seen that here in Chicago with Pedro Strop, and then Cueto we've seen do it a little bit, and now Lorenzen.
Cub fans, don't miss your chance to catch the best matchups in baseball. Reserve your place in line for history in the making. Join the season ticket holder waiting list. It's easy, free to register. For details, visit Cubs.com/waiting list. Boom, if you would pass that up to Paula kindly, I'd appreciate that.
I got you, Paula.
Breaking ball, little backdoor sliders, line away for ball 1. Rizzo, like Coughlin, a strikeout victim back in the first.
Boy, hot humid night here at Wrigley Field. How about the ball Fowler hit? That ball just kept going into the left field corner and just ended up in the basket.
Yeah, it's because the one Frazier hit earlier I thought didn't carry particularly well. Hard to tell, maybe he didn't get it. Rizzo doesn't get it either here on 2-0. Big swing, but fastball in under the hands.
I always thought here at Wrigley when it was hot and humid, if you hit the ball with the way the wind is blowing, whichever way that is, you should get an extra 10 or 15 feet. And wind not blowing very hard, but that ball just kept going into the corner. I kind of anticipated it bouncing into the ivy, and it just caught the basket for a home run.
I always operated under the premise that if it was hitting the air off of me, it was going to leave the ballpark. Again, Rizzo goes down swinging. Time a challenge fastball up above the hands, and that's 5 for Lorenzen.
And that's what I was talking about, Jimmy. This Lorenzen's got good stuff. He's got a live arm. That's a 2-seamer that starts out in off the plate. Anthony didn't get fooled by it, but it has a little bit of ride to it at the end. Anthony just underneath that fastball for his second strikeout of the ballgame.
Bryant, ground out first time up. Bounce went down to Frazier at third. And that'll be a solid single. Kind of make a little something happen with 2 outs, as it did in the third when Fowler hit a 2-out home run to put the Cubs on the board.
Well, for Chris, it's good swing on a pitch that starts out away and ends up coming back over the middle of the plate. And a lot like the home run he hit yesterday. A line drive bullet he hit yesterday to the seats in left. This one is a line drive single back through the middle. And what they're trying to do with Chris and make just a slight adjustment is just flatten him out through the hitting zone just a little bit. And that way he makes a little more contact and hits a few more line drives. He squared that one up well.
Better when he's going the middle. I mean, when his swing is middle other way, I think that's when he, and then he certainly has the ability to turn on the ball.
to me, he gets just a little bit. What they're trying to eliminate is so much of that upshoot swing and just get him a little bit flatter. And that's the story for every major league player, and I don't care what position you play. You're constantly tweaking your game because there's always an adjustment you can make as a pitcher or as a hitter. And I think that was the one thing that they're trying to do with Chris.
Modest lead at first. 1-1 is down to La Stella. La Stella playing third base here tonight. Second start at that position for the Cubs this year. Is a position he's played sparingly in the minor leagues as well. He's always been a middle infielder. And he waits on a 2-1 here from Lorenzen. And that's yanked foul. Let's take a look at Bryant's hack here, Coom.
Well, he got a pitch that he could handle, and you watch this very short stride, and you see the barrel of the bat. It stays in the hitting zone for a long time, and he ends up squaring this ball up, and it's just a line drive to left that doesn't come down and ends up in the bleachers in left field at Dodger Stadium. And what a big swing of the bat that was for the Cubs. But I really like that Chris is able to take that pitch that was inner third and turn on that ball and drive it to left field and not hit it with topspin, Jimmy, but have a little carry to it, and it ended up reaching the seats.
He's drawn a couple throws now from Lorenzen. Base stealers 8 out of 12 with Lorenzen on the mound. Barnhart behind the plate is a good, solid defensive catcher. Good receiver. Quick release, throws well. Not running, line to center. Bourgeois right there to haul it in, and that will do it for the Cubs here in the fourth. We've got Ron Coomer alongside. Coom, we talked about your playing career earlier, but let's get inside. Let's really get to know Ron Coomer.
This is scary.
Texas. We're here at the Dallas at Rhapsody Spa. We're doing couples massage, Paul and I, guys. Jennifer's taking care of me right now. This is really hard work, but someone's got to do it. Back to you.
Oh, you boys in the truck. You wait till I see you.
You got two
gotta
pitches
come back
to explain
tomorrow,
that,
boys.
my friend. You got some explaining to do here, Lucy.
Oh, my. That took some digging. You guys
So
too much time on your hands, first of all, boys.
What was going on there?
Well, we did a promotion with the Minnesota Twins in our broadcast from the resort area in Wisconsin. What's the resort area?
The Dells?
The Wisconsin Dells. So we went to the Dells, and I drove race cars and all kinds of different things. And we had a couples, but they wanted to do something with the spa, and there were none of our female broadcasters there at the time. So they asked Paul and I if we would go there. I said, sure. And next thing you know, we're doing a couples massage. Well, they didn't quite tape the couples. They taped just run, and that wasn't very good. And
no, that was beautiful.
Oh, sure it was, because it wasn't you.
Here's Castro. Got him.
You better keep calling. I'm not over this part on TV. Oh.
As smooth as Ron Coomer's massage oil, Starlin Castro up the middle to make the play.
Okay, now isn't it time for me to go back to radio somewhere, right?
Yeah. That's a segment we like to call Embarrass the Guest.
Now, what kind of prize do I get? She won. Oh, that's funny.
Here's the pitcher, Lorenzen. Strikeout victim last time. As you mentioned, a very good hitter.
Yeah, Lorenzen's got a good swing. Yeah. We've seen him take some hacks, and he could stay on the fastball a little bit.
I have a visual of him pumping one out there into the alley in right center in one of his starts against the Cubs. It's quickly with the 0-1. Check swing, got the hand. So that'll be a hit by pitch.
Well, I thought it was a foul ball,
I
actually.
did too. And I don't know if Lorenzen maybe selling this one a little bit. We'll see if we can see anything here. No, I got him.
Wow. Yeah, it did. It hit him in the hand, in the right hand, his throwing hand. As he checks his swing, as he starts swinging, his hand comes underneath, and I think that ball just hit him in the back of that right hand. And, it, just from experience, it's kind of a glancing blow, luckily for him, because whenever the ball hits you square in the hands when you're holding the bat at home plate, that can really, you're definitely not just walking to first base right away, that's for sure. And glancing blow, so he'll be all right.
So 1 on, 1 out. The Reds batting top of the 5th. Jason Bourgeois, veteran utility guy, could play some second base. Plenty of speed. He's in center field tonight. 1 out of 2. Do you ever just get absolutely smoked? Is there one that stands out for you?
Yeah, in spring training I get hit in the helmet, which would explain a lot.
This will be in the right. See if Lorenzen is thinking about first to third. He is not. Station to station, first and second now. And Bourgeois 2 out of 3. So you got.
Yeah, I get hit in the head with a fastball in spring training, Jimmy, and that was one of the strangest. To try to come back and continue to play that game was very, the courage thing of keeping that front side in there and staying in there. And I got hit in the back one time by a Clemens fastball, about 96, and that one still sticks in my memory bank pretty well.
So obviously you did something to deserve that.
Right. That's my pitching partner right next to me.
Didn't take much for Roger to have an excuse to dot you with a fastball.
It did not. And then later in my career, we were teammates in New York, and I found out that it didn't take a lot for Roger to let you know he was standing on the mound, just a little, how you doing? So it was entertaining. But, a couple of them were really, really tough. The one off the helmet is a difficult one for any player.
Do you remember who
it was? Loaiza.
Esteban
Loaiza, yeah.
Clayton Richard starting to heat it up in the Cubs bullpen. Dangerous part of the order here. Jay Bruce, then Votto, then Phillips. There's a fly out to left, a tapper back to the mound. Little inside move by Hendricks, nothing doing. Formula changes a little bit. Normally you wouldn't think about the Reds putting any kind of a play on with a pitcher out there, but Lorenzen, because he is such a good athlete, changes that dynamic.
Cubs would love to get a ground ball. Kyle got Bruce to hit a ground ball back to him in his first at bat. See if he tries to brush him inside and then go with something soft to induce the ground ball.
That would have been the pitch right there. He was probably lucky he didn't make contact. Grimm joins Richard in the Cubs pen. September 1 comes tomorrow with expanded rosters. The sprint to the finish is on. And the 1-1 bounce foul at the plate. We've seen it really probably about 2 weeks ago, right? You saw it with Joe. All of a sudden, you have those early hooks for Jason Hamill.
Yeah.
I mean, he's treating each game, obviously, with added significance here late in the year. Getting guys up, ready to pull the trigger, identifying points early in the game when he might be able to stem the tide, if you will.
Well, and that proves to your point with Grimm up here in the 5th.
He is labeled as his mid-inning closer.
Yeah, Grimmer has had an outstanding year, and going through, Joe definitely determines what parts of the game are important. And now with 2, 3, and 4 coming up with 1 out, this is one of those turning points in a ball game.
Big pitch coming here on 2-2. Got him. He didn't get his double play, but he got the next best thing, a swing and miss from Bruce.
A good two-seam fastball by Kyle. And that's the thing. Kyle kept going to that two-seam fastball away to Bruce. And as a hitter, when you know a guy's big weapon to strike you out is that changeup, and Kyle is a great one. You constantly have that in the back of your mind. Kyle made a good pitch with the fastball to get the strikeout.
Look at this. Intentional walk Votto with runners on first and second.
Well, and we've been in the manager's office many times, and he's talked about there's a base open, it's just not first.
Yeah.
And that's kind of his theory, is certain guys he is not going to want to have beat him, and this is the situation. He does not want to have Joey Votto end up beating him here tonight.
And which leads me to believe we're going to see Justin Grimm to come in and face Phillips here. We'll see how Joe plays it. But, yeah, this is the Barry Bonds treatment here. When Bonds was doing his thing back in the day, Buck Showalter actually walked Bonds once with the bases loaded.
Now, you got to see Barry play a lot. So did I, playing against him. He was one of those guys when he was rolling. I mean, you'd give him 1 or 2 pitches a series to hit, and he'd hit one or both of them out of the ballpark.
Yeah. No move from Madden. Looks like Kyle Hendricks is going to get a chance to work out of this.
Cal Schwarber goes to the mound and talking to Hendricks. And I don't know if this is just to stall for time, because it looks like Grimm is ready in the bullpen.
Our AT&T Uverse multi-view.
I kind of like that Joe Madden is giving Cal Hendricks a chance to stay in the game and get this third out here in the 5th.
Phillips waves at the cut changeup for strike 1. Phillips bounced into a double play first time up and lined to Castro last inning. Phillips really just the opposite of Votto. Votto, one of the more patient hitters in the league. Phillips, one of the more aggressive swingers. And Hendricks, a guy who can really prey on that, just teasing the corners of the strike zone, throwing that changeup down and away. The challenge for Hendricks this year is to commit to it, not to give in to Phillips, who does have power. Here's the 1-1. Game on, right? I mean,
yeah.
He doesn't want to give in. Phillips looking for something he can do some damage with.
All 3 pitches, see on the pitch tracks, down and away. Wouldn't surprise me if Kyle comes in with a fastball real hard and tries to get Phillips to swing at that two-seamer, but you can't leave it, as you're saying, Jimmy, in that inner third of the plate because of the pop that Phillips has in his bat.
Maybe a step the other way in the outfield. And that's going to be through for a base hit. That will plate 1. And Bourgeois home with the second run. So for the second time tonight, the Cubs issuing an intentional walk or a pitch around and then an intentional walk, and both times the ensuing hitter has gotten the job done. So good work by the Reds hitters here tonight. First DeJesus and now Phillips after the intentional walk, just beyond the reach of Tommy La Stella.
Well, it's a two-seam fastball from Hendricks, and he didn't get it in far enough against Phillips. And Phillips hits the ground ball, but gets it on the barrel enough to hit it past La Stella at third. 2 RBIs for Phillips. And it's a 3-1 ball game.
And here comes the dangerous Frazier.
Yeah, that's the issue you have when you do decide after 3 pitches to go inside. Once again, if you're going to miss, you got to error in off the plate, not error on the plate to where Phillips can get the barrel of the bat on.
This Reds club, as I mentioned earlier, they've lost 20 of their last 25 ball games. The offense has really been scuffling. They've been shut out 6 times during that 25-game stretch. Swung on a miss. A good changeup from Hendricks.
Does that surprise you with the 6 shutouts in this stretch? With the middle of that lineup, when you're talking Bruce, Votto, Phillips, and Frazier, to be shut out that many times, you talk about a core of a lineup.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the news isn't good around Cincinnati these days, but there's still some really good players there. They might be able to turn this thing around quickly, and I think that's part of their strategy with using all these young pitchers, trying to identify, if they have guys capable of working in this rotation next year. I think they feel like they'll bounce back and be a decent offensive club. But Homer Bailey's been down all year. They've traded Cueto. They've traded Mike Leake.
Right.
Alfredo Simon was traded last offseason. So they've got to find some reliable starting pitchers. High fastball gets the job done, but not before the Reds push 2 across and take a 3-1 lead here. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th.
It's got to be confusing for everybody, right, JD?
Dizzy.
Yep. Host your next customers and guests in a private suite at Wrigley Field. The new Veen Investment Suite can accommodate anywhere from 15 to 55. It includes food, all-you-can-eat beverages, and parking. To book your premier experience at the ballpark, visit Cubs.com/suites.
Cubs down 2 now as they come to bat in the bottom of the 5th. Castro, and it looks like Denorfia will hit for Hendricks, and then Russell. Sharp hit, that'll be extra bases. Castro with the turn, and downshift into second he goes. So, for the second time tonight, a leadoff double. This time off the bat of Starlin Castro.
Starlin yesterday, 3 hits in the ball game, 2 singles and a double. And now today, squares that one up, shoots that ball down the line. So Starlin with 4 hits in the last couple days. And obviously the Cubs would love to see him heat up offensively and be able to do some damage. He has struggled throughout this season, but is definitely showing life here through the month of August and going down the stretch.
Yeah, he had two 3-hit games
yeah.
on the road trip. Had one in San Francisco, including a long home run. So things kind of backfiring on Joe Madden. He issues the intentional walk. Hendricks stays in the game, gives up the base hit. Now Joe having to play from behind, opts to pinch hit for Kyle, and Chris Denorfia gets the at-bat. It's a breaking ball for strike 1.
Boy, nice stop by Barnhart on that pitch in the dirt. Like a breaking ball that Lorenzen holds on too long. And this ball, I mean, this might not be a strike in Williamsport.
No, it was a pretty hittable pitch after the bounce.
Yogi would have taken that one deep. But as you said, Barnhart, a good defensive catcher, throws the ball well.
If you're looking to drive in a run here and failing to do that, would love to at least advance Castro to third base.
There's that good fastball inside, just as you're saying, Jimmy. The hitter is trying to do one thing, the pitcher is trying to stop him from being able to shoot the ball the other way. Lorenzen with a good fastball, mid-90s, in off the plate.
Meant to double up in there and just overthrew it and missed badly. Denorfia usually gives you a pretty competitive at bat, works the count full. Takes the mound, took the mound for the bottom of the 5th with a 2-run lead, but he's in jeopardy of letting it slip away here. Leadoff double. Denorfia works the walk. Addison Russell a stride up there with a couple of men on and nobody out.
Well, nice at bat by Denorfia. He took a couple pitches that were close, and in the last couple, not even close. A couple pitches up and off the plate. The Cubs got something going here in the bottom of the 5th. And this is the situation on that West Coast trip, JD, that the Cubs are just unable to capitalize through the middle of that trip. See if the home cooking can change things up a little.
A good start for Lorenzen as he finds the zone with the fastball. Russell in a 2-strike hole. Pirates are idle tonight. Start a series tomorrow in Milwaukee. And the Giants begin a series in Los Angeles tonight. Peavy against Anderson on the West Coast. Cubs with a 5.5 game lead over the Giants. 6 games in the loss column for that second wild card spot. That's going to get it done. And some. Toward and into the corner it goes. Off the wall. Castro scores. Denorfia right behind him. And we are tied.
Great swing by Addison Russell. He gets an off-speed pitch up in the zone and keeps the hands back and just hammers this ball in the left field corner. Addy with the breaking ball. And he has done an outstanding job since he's gone to the little bit of a late kick to keep his hands back and be able to drive through the baseball. And this ball is just tattooed into the corner. And what an adjustment since All-Star break the young shortstop has made. Switching positions back to his original position and making a minor adjustment at home plate. And he's been a force in that 9-hole now for the Cubs offense.
Jeff Pico, the pitching coach, out to chat with the young battery mates. Yeah, let me see. When you came into the booth, what was the score? 1-1, right?
1-1.
Yeah,
Wow. 1-0, right? And Votto scored.
That's right.
Yep.
So you're on the hook here.
I still like my chances.
Casper left with the lead.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm working my way back quickly.
You are.
Yeah.
That's a song title. Working my way back. Dexter Fowler, perfect tonight. Double home run. And a bit for extra bases again, but Jason Bourgeois is going to be able to run that one down. Boy, that looked good off the bat.
Yeah, Fowler with his third good swing of the night. I think that ball from Lorenzen just got in on Fowler just enough to where Bourgeois was able to run that ball down in straightaway center field. And the Cubs are starting to get on Lorenzen. Wouldn't surprise me at all if Cincinnati were to start getting some action in the bullpen.
Yeah, it's interesting to contrast it. So you got the Cubs who are in this chase for the wild card, and the way Joe Madden will manage in this series, you got the Reds who are basically playing out the string, trying to find out what they have. So you might, Brian Price might be a little more patient with his starter because they're kind of in development mode, whereas the Cubs are obviously in win every night mode.
I've been in both as a player. I like win every night mode
that's
a lot better,
fun,
JD.
Yeah, you have a little more bounce in your step when you come to the ballpark. There's the 1-0. Good take by Schwarber, and now finds himself in a hitter's count.
Yeah, Lorenzen only had 75 pitches. So, to your point, Jimmy, this is one of those situations where you want to see how he can continue in the ball game and finish out a game, get around that 100-pitch limit.
Makes a pitch there, 2-0 let up. Fastball swing, but a good changeup by Lorenzen. Didn't take Schwarber long to get a reputation, boy. They pitch him very carefully.
A good snap throw. Lorenzen is a very good athlete on the mound. He's got very quick feet with his pickoff moves to first, and as we just saw that one to second base. But yeah, you start whistling balls into the seats all over the ballpark, you'll get a reputation in a hurry.
That one's going to shot, and indeed it does go through. That's going to be an RBI single for Kyle Schwarber. And Ron Coomer has taken the lead.
Yeah. Good swing by Kyle. He got a fastball inside and just keeps his hands inside the ball and shoots it through the middle. As Phillips playing way around to the pull side. And nobody can get to this ball. Rolls a base hit through the middle, as we said, and he's going to end up with his 36th RBI of the season. And the Cubs got something really going now here in the fifth.
Just strength by Schwarber. That ball beat into the ground in front of home plate. And finally, I got a hit. He's been in a bit of a funk. His strength allowed him to muscle that ball through the infield. Ryan Matthews, the righty, is up in the Reds' pen. Cubs looking for more. 3 in, 1 on. Coughlin in the box with 1 out.
Well, you were talking about some of the Cubs hitters and Kyle being in a little funk on the West Coast. I was thinking about that yesterday and today as we were coming here to Wrigley to play. And you think about the guys that we've had to face, this Cubs team. 3 Cy Youngs and all last year's MVP of the World Series on 1 road trip.
Yeah.
6 ball games.
I don't know if that Joe Madden would admit it, but I would think pleased with 2 and 4 on that trip.
Well, you and I have both done that trip as players and as broadcasters. And at this time of the year, to go out west and think you're going to dominate the West Coast teams, I think 500 is a good benchmark. If you can go 500, you're extremely happy. And for them to win a couple ball games after the middle of that stretch of the guys they were facing, got to be happy to come home with a W in that last game.
I'll go and lifts one in the air to center field. Bourgeois got it measured. And there are 2 outs. Yeah, for me, it was just don't lay an egg out there. Don't go out there and lose all 6. And it could have happened if not for the heroics of Jake Arrieta. The Cubs won 2 games. He won them both. Well, Anthony Rizzo will get his 3rd look at Lorenzen. First 2 have not gone well for the big guy. 0 for 2, a couple of punch-outs. Ouch.
Not a lot of movement trying to get out of the way by Anthony, and he gets plunked once again.
Well, Jeff Pico made a quicker move to the phone than Rizzo did to get out of the way of this slider from Lorenzen. Anthony hit for the 137th time this year. Now I'll tell you the truth here in a minute. I'll look it up. 25th time he's been hit by a pitch. Brian Price has seen enough. Lorenzen trying to work his way through this 5th inning, but he has decided to make the move to the bullpen. It's our Sleepy's pitching change. Ryan Matthews will be on, and we will be back. Bring on the veteran right-hander Ryan Matthews.
Well, Matthews with a little high ERA, just under 5, and a record of 1 and 4. Not a big strikeout guy. So hopefully Cubs can do some damage against the right-hander.
Veteran guy's been around a while now. Spent the last few seasons with the Nationals, briefly with the Angels earlier this year. Brian with a bid for a base hit. And that's going to do it, and it's going to score a run if he gets home before the tag is applied. And it is. Run credited as the play is made on Rizzo at 3rd. Just after Kyle Schwarber crossed home plate. That was close. We'll take a look at it when we come back. With a big inning for the Cubs, they score 4. Well, let's take a look at it right now. You see the ball roll on into the outfield. Here comes Schwarber. Here's the throw to 3rd. No replay. We'll be back.
the end of the bat. Middle infield for Cincinnati. Go after this ball, kind of collide. Phillips makes a good play throwing Rizzo out, but a hustling Kyle Schwarber ends up scoring. And if he does not run, JD, all the way home and touch the plate on the run, that run does not count. Good call by home plate umpire Paul Schreiber to be right on that call as Kyle Schwarber scores right before Anthony's thrown out at third.
Justin Grimm now on for Kyle Hendricks. Had a heck of a year so far with a 1.17 ERA. So in a perfect world, should Rizzo just stay home there, not try to push it to third base and take that risk?
Yeah, you never want to make the third out at third base. I know Joe Madden is less of an advocate of that than most managers.
Fouled back.
But to me, when things are rolling, there are times where you take a little extra risk. It looks like that's what Anthony, the game is going good for the Cubs, so you just kind of push your luck a little. But it was actually a really nice play by Phillips to end up throwing him out. I didn't think he had much of a chance. He made a nice throw.
Phillips makes a lot of plays, right, that we don't expect guys to make. Been one of the better guys for a good while now. Jesus, 1 out of 2 with an RBI tonight. RBI single back in the fourth. He also struck out. So Kyle Hendricks in position to be a winning pitcher here tonight. A lot of work to be done, however. We're only in the 6th.
Kyle could use a couple W's like that. He left some games early in the season, if I remember correctly, in April, where he left the ball game leading the game and no luck. So hopefully the Cubs can maintain this lead and get him a W.
If he gets it, it will be his 7th against 6 losses. 2-2. Foul back. 97.
But that's the one thing with Grimm and now Hunter and obviously Strop and Rondon with the power arms. Guys coming in. I know you and I have talked about this. Guys coming in throwing 96, 97, 98. Every team's got them now. It's amazing how hard guys are throwing.
Yeah, well, and it's one of the big reasons why run production is down. So the model for success, the Kansas City Royals, their ability to shorten games. So, using relief pitchers early and often presents a big enough problem for the hitters because they're seeing different guys. Right. Now you make those guys throw 97 to 99. You're running Grimm out there in the middle of the game doing it. This is the kind of stuff that used to be reserved for the 8th and 9th inning only. It's the depth of power arms that's really making a difference in the game.
Well, you think about Kansas City and how they went through the playoffs last year. 6 innings from the starter and then 4 innings out of the bullpen, maybe, if needed.
Reminiscent of the Nasty Boys from the 1990 World Series Reds. Here comes the payoff. Down low.
Well, DeJesus with another good at-bat, drawing the walk here to lead off the 6th inning. He got a big RBI single in that last inning to drive in Votto.
Suarez nothing for 2 tonight. Ground out, fly out. This one pumped to right. Bryant retreating, looking, and that ball is going to fly out of here. Oh, my. I talked earlier that this kid had some pop. He goes opposite field here off of Justin Grimm, and we've got a tie ball game.
Well, it's a fastball outer third, and Suarez, he squares this one up, and I mean, he hits this ball a ton to right field. Bryant takes a couple steps back and just watches it sail over his head. Home run number 10, RBIs 36 and 7 for Suarez. And just like that, the game is tied, as you said, JD. And
yeah, this is not a night where the wind is helping, certainly not in that direction. Impressive swing of the bat by Suarez. So much for the win for Kyle Hendricks. Battle of the bullpens here. We're tied at 5 in the 6th. Strike 1 to Barnhart. That one shot foul. Up over the Cub dugout. Hopefully everybody's okay down there. Grimm is not. Been hurt by the home run ball very much this year. It's just the 3rd he has allowed.
Actually, it wasn't that bad a pitch. It was down away. Had a lot of the strike zone.
This one could be trouble. Flare out there in the shallow right. Barnhart's aboard.
Well, a walk and 2 hits here in the 6th inning for Cincinnati. They've tied the game. And Grimmer with the walk to DeJesus. That's the big play for me in this inning. And then Suarez hits the opposite field home run. And now for Justin Grimm, you're hoping to get a ground ball or a strikeout here and get things changed up here a little bit.
Yeah, some damage being done here by the bottom of the Reds batting order. Adam Duvall will pinch hit. Minor league numbers, 264 with 30 long ones. Are not really a base stealer. Clayton Richard was up earlier. He is back throwing in the Cubs bullpen. Dangerous left-handed bats after this lineup turns over. Bruce and Votto in particular. Here comes the 0-1 to Duvall.
Grimm scuffling here in the 6th inning. Missed with that slider. You said Clayton Richard throwing in the pen. Richard, the guy that Joe Madden likes to bring into the ball game to get a ground ball. He really likes his pitch to contact, occasional strikeout, but a good double play guy to bring in out of the pen.
96 catches the corner, as you see the veteran Richard doing his thing out there in the pen. For Duvall, it's the top of the order, and Jason Bourgeois. Time to get to bed today, Coom.
About 5:45.
Nice.
Yeah, beautiful. Got a little bit of sleep on the plane coming back from Los Angeles.
Well, that was one of the concerns, right? You have a long trip, get in at 5, 6 in the morning. Guys might be flat, but they put 5 runs on the board. And that's trouble. Hit well, deep. Is it fair? It is. Second 2-run home run for the Reds in this inning, and this time it's a pinch hit 2-run home run for Adam Duvall.
Well, he just said Duvall with 30 home runs this season in the minor leagues. Hits a hanging breaking ball from Grimm, and he launches this one out of the ballpark. 2-run homer on a breaking ball from Grimm, and that's the second home run given up in the inning.
Hanging breaking ball. And we just got done saying that after the first one that Grimm has not had home run problems this year, but he's certainly had home run problems here tonight. A rare bad one here for Grimm. And it'll be Bourgeois, and still nobody out.
Three hits and a walk in the inning for Grimm. And it seems like to me, Jimmy, his breaking ball, he's either held onto it too long and thrown it in the dirt, and then tried to make the adjustment and leave it out over the plate.
It's like he's in between clubs.
Yeah. Well, we know about that, don't we?
Well, that's the least of my problems. Well, Bruce the lefty on deck, so this will probably be it for Graham. See if he can finish on a positive note. And regardless of how this goes, he's not going to be happy with his performance here tonight. It happens. The good news is the Cubs still have plenty of time to come back.
How about for Duvall? 15 big league hits, 4 of them have been out of the yard. Pretty good production for a guy just coming up from the minor leagues.
Secret weapon there on the Reds bench.
Well, and that's another thing for this Reds ball club this year. They're going to get the remainder of this season. They're going to get a chance to see all these guys, let them play, and see if they can contribute here in the big leagues.
Bourgeois stays alive. Ryan Price obviously has not been a good year for the Reds. He had that little emotional blow up early in the year. Unleashed a string of profanities, got a lot of headlines. Recently, Bob Castellini, the owner of the Reds, said that Brian will be our manager through the end of the year, but not much more than that. This one's popped to right. Bryant will settle under it, and we've got out number 1. Two homestands left to come out and enjoy the enhanced 2 homestands. That's it. Wow. The enhanced Budweiser bleachers, they still remain a timeless tradition in Chicago. No experience quite like it. Visit Cubs.com/bleachers to buy tickets. And it'll be a Sleepy's pitching change. We'll tell you all about it when we come back. On Clayton Richard.
Well, Clayton Richard with a good record, 3-0, just 3.86 ERA, 17 punch-outs, and the sidearm lefty will come in and really try to induce a ground ball, see if he can get out of this inning with a double play.
Bruce followed by Votto. Bruce 0 for 3 tonight. This one is in Fowler's direction. Usually when that happens, that happens.
Well, 1 pitch, 1 out for Richard coming in, 2nd out of the inning. And he can really get in on some guys' hands. That 2-seam fastball and that delivery from that 3/4 somewhat sidearm gets good run on the fastball into the left-handed hitter.
Got a little funk going on too, doesn't he? A little hesitation. This is down and away on bottom.
You and I have been in the manager's office a bunch, along with Plenty and Pat, talking to Joe Madden about Richard and his pitch to strike and his ability to pitch out of the pen now and really be effective and kind of be Joe's, pitch to contact, but really get a chance to get a couple quick outs.
He's got the jump on Votto here. A ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, I do think, too, that he's been in the bullpen now, Jimmy. You know, the velocity where he's not going to pitch 5-6 innings. Velocity's up 93, 94 miles an hour.
A little bit up and in. Yeah, that's what surprised me. The little giddy up we've seen on his fastball since the move to the pen. That one clocked at 95. And earlier in his career, he did that a fair bit. This one is softly grounded towards short. Russell on the move. Over to Rizzo for out number 3. So Clayton Richards comes in, cleans it up. And we'll go to the bottom of the 6th with the Reds out in front now, 7-5.
Lakefront, contact Anita D. Yacht Charters, specializing in fully customizable corporate outings, social events, and weddings aboard their 2 private and exclusive luxury yacht venues. Book today at AnitaD.com. Well, we move to the bottom of the 6th. Cubs trailing 7-5, and we're going to show you our Lowe's Never Stop Improving player, of course, Jake Arrieta. It's got to be, that's his motto, basically. His first career no-hitter a night ago, the 3rd visiting pitcher to do it at Dodger Stadium, and the 14th in Cubs history. And Jake going on to say, guys, that's something he's been wanting to do a long time, a childhood dream, really, and all the stars aligned for him last evening.
Boy, indeed they did. Thank you, Kelly. Jake Arrieta, who's been among the best in the league the last couple of years, really rising to the top now. Estella in there to face the reliever Ballister, pumps that one out of play, foul.
Ballister, right-hander, a little bit of a high ERA, just getting called up, and good 2-seam running fastball from Ballister. But you think about that, in Los Angeles yesterday, Jake throwing the no-hitter, and Pat made this comment yesterday on radio. He did it in front of 2 of the best pitchers in the game.
Should be easy for DeJesus. Maybe not quite as easy, but he's able to put it away for out number 1.
You know, and you think about that, and the no-hitters have been thrown, but look at that step.
Well, and it's interesting, you know, we went past through kind of the offensive explosion of the steroid era, and now we're into a situation where runs are way down, and a lot of swing and miss in the game. Big arms in the pen, but obviously a guy like Arrieta doesn't rely as heavily on the pen as many.
He was outstanding yesterday, and doing it in front of Greinke and Kershaw, 2 of the leading pitchers in the National League. Both of those guys watching on.
Well, if you had to handicap the Cy Young, right, those would be your 3 guys right now.
Right.
Greinke, not to say that there aren't others in the conversation, and you know, things could change between now and in the end of the year, but Greinke, Arrieta, and Kershaw would be the three that probably would get everybody's attention right now.
Well, Jake leading the league now in wins at 17. Greinke leading the league in ERA, under a 2 ERA. So you talk about those two, 1 and 2, and then Kershaw didn't look bad the other night.
No, he didn't. Astro a little bit tardy on that one. Pushes it down the right side. 2-2.
Now you're a very good pitcher in the big leagues, but when you look at certain guys that play the game now, especially those three, how about having the weapons that they have at their disposal to get a hitter out?
Flat out envy, man. It's unbelievable how good they are. Castro a strikeout victim. Alistair gets 2 quickly here in the Cubs' 6th.
Well, Ballister, we said, with that good running fastball, ran that one in under the hands of Starling to get the out. 2 outs here in the 6th. And JD, before we get the 3rd out, I appreciate you let me come over. Yeah.
Good talking ball.
Good, yeah. Very good.
And
there's no smoke coming out of our radio booth, so we're doing okay over there.
Okay over there. Johnny Herrera. Pinch hitting. Makes a fastball for ball 1. And this one's lifted to left to Jesus. Quickly on and quickly out go the Cubs in the 6th. Coom, it's been a blast. I would say relax, go get yourself a nice rub.
Champs, great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Nice night here at Wrigley Field. You and your teammates will be singing the stretch. Got a wonderful ovation. It's been a good time for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, we're really excited. I'm enjoying the Chicago sports scene, getting on it a little bit more with the Red Stars and been out to some Fire games and the Cubs game. It's been a lot of fun.
Where's home?
LA.
LA?
Yeah.
Good thing you're not a Dodger fan.
Never. Chicago sports.
Fernando Rodney making his home debut with the Cubs. The Cubs trail this one 7-5 as Phillips bounces it foul. JD, you still have your voice?
Yeah, I think I've got it.
It'll be okay.
Probably, yeah. I don't know if I can go extras tonight, but I can get through 9.
Did you tell people I was traded or had been claimed on
I think
waivers?
there was a waiver. Yeah, there might have been rumor of a trade to the Padres.
1 strike on Brandon Phillips. A 2-run single in the 5th for Phillips. So what stands out about the tournament the most as you look back?
I think that the best part about the World Cup is it's a shooting star event, and you can fall in love with teams, and you kind of get to know everyone's story, and it's so much fun for the fans to, see us all for this one glorious month. And now we're just sort of living in the wake of it, wishing we could go back and do it again.
Sure.
Yeah. In contrast to the season, which is throughout the whole year, and it's just this crazy 6 games.
Fowler makes the catch. Well, the entire country has really embraced the entire team, and rightly so. And I think we get into Olympic situations, and it depends on personality, certainly, but I feel like the World Cup, both men and women, it really has grabbed everybody's attention.
Absolutely. And the reception from the U.S. has been amazing, from us coming home and all the celebrations. We've had so much fun this summer.
You been to the White House yet?
Not yet.
You going?
Yes, we are.
When's that going to happen?
I'm thinking late October. I'm very excited about that.
And strike on Todd Frazier. So why did you win it? What was the key?
Yeah, what made it all happen for you guys?
The girls. I think that, we didn't have the easiest road, obviously. We were in a hard group, and
That'll get out of play.
What'd you say?
I said that'll get out of play. Continue.
Okay, sorry, got distracted. Yeah, we didn't have the easiest route, and we actually didn't start playing that well when we first got out there. So I think that it was just the resilience of the group to turn it around and decide that no matter what, we were going to take home that trophy.
2 strikes on Frazier.
High heater. Ooh, didn't get it there.
We'll get the desired result. As Fowler makes the catch.
Do you? So what's the deal? World Cup is every 4 years.
4 years.
So is your intention to play next go around?
Absolutely. And next year we have the Olympics. So kind of, it's like 2 years on, and then 2 years where you're mostly with your club teams.
Where are the Olympics?
Rio.
Yeah, Rio beat out Chicago, among other cities, I believe, to host the 2016 games.
Now, that would have been fun.
So you guys will go in as the favorites, right? Coming off the World Cup.
Yes,
So
I
there'll be a little
believe so.
burden of expectation, a little
Yes.
extra pressure.
But I think that, in women's soccer, we always have that. Even though we hadn't won the World Cup in a few years, we were always ranked 1 because we play so many games and we get a lot of good results. So we're kind of used to bearing that cross.
1-0 pitch. There's a strike. One and 1 the count. And Ivan De Jesus. There it is. 1-2. We doing a little 3-part harmony,
You
or
got some help up there
just gonna
behind
sing
you?
it in unison, or?
Well, we've been harmonizing
Oh,
in the
really?
back, yeah.
Very nice.
Who's singing with you? Who's
Julie Johnston and Lori Klubney.
Come on down, Julie.
Oh, here
Lori.
they are.
2 outs here. It happens fast.
Welcome.
Swing and a miss. Okay. Here we go, Kristen. Time to sing the stretch.
Tonight's guest conductors for Take Me Out to the Ball Game, U.S. Women's National Soccer teammates Lori Kolupny, Julie Johnston, and Kristen Press.
All right, Cubs fans, let me hear ya. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the ground. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jacks.
Badenhop now for Cincinnati, and it goes without saying. Although I will say it, JD, be nice to either get tied or get the lead before you have to face Aroldis Chapman.
Yep, that's. I mean, you're always worried about facing the other team's closer, but Chapman been one of the best in the business for a few years now. It's always in the back of the manager's mind as you work your way into the later innings of the ball game. Badenhop, a sinker baller. Not throw particularly hard, and a little bit below average in terms of velocity. Just relies on movement and location.
Lorenzen, Matthews, Ballister, and Badenhop. Well, based on Twitter, it sounded like it went well over here with you and Ronnie.
Yeah, we had fun.
I enjoyed your play-by-play stylings.
Talked a little ball with the Coon Dog.
Thanks to the WBBM radio crew for having me over there. Mark Rohde and I had some laughs. Ball hit pretty hard on the ground, but to Suarez, who throws out Russell for out number one. We want to welcome all our viewers in Auburn, Indiana on Auburn Essential Services watching tonight. And we want to send out a very happy birthday wish to a Hall of Famer and a former Cincinnati Red. Happy 80th to Frank Robinson, one of the all-time greats.
Born in Beaumont, Texas, 80 years ago today. Two-time MVP, once in each league, Cincinnati and Baltimore.
There's Fowler. He's had some good swings tonight. They all came off the starter, Lorenzen. Double, homer, and a line out to center.
And a very good swing right there. He just missed hitting that ball a good ways. Sometimes just the way the guy turns the bat loose. You can tell if he's seeing the ball well. Nothing tentative about that swing.
Brandon Phillips, 2 outs. Schwarber. Space running by Kyle. And that infield hit by Chris Bryant in the 5th inning. Fortunately, the run counted as he just got in ahead of Anthony Rizzo being tagged out at 3rd. Strop and Hunter. Imagine if the Cubs do not score here, it'll be Hunter. Strike called.
Badenhop, a bundle of energy out there bouncing around.
Just foul as that ball was right at Schwarber's feet, and Barnhart tried to pounce on it while it was in fair territory. I'm not sure it ever was. When he picked it up, it was foul. Oh, 2 rolling away. Now 2-2.
Badenhop, one of those guys, when you look at his stuff, if you're an opposing hitter, he looks very hittable. But you have to guard against being overly anxious. That's his MO, try to get you to chase that 88-mile-an-hour sinker just off the plate, down below the knees. You got to force him out over the middle of the plate and up a little bit if you really want to inflict some damage. you watch him for a long time, you might get a little nervous. Lap around the mound. Tug at the pants. Go to the hat.
Long at bat here. I feel like I just listened to some of your play-by-play. It's good.
There he goes around again.
And Jason Mott are kindred spirits that way. He got him. Aiden Hop works a 1-2-3 7th, and the Reds maintain their 2-run lead. The game, your strongest fan photo to Northside Data Strong Fan, and you might show up on an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile.
DJ Gambino. Good looking kid. Here comes Tommy Hunter. Look at his numbers. Combined with the Orioles and the Cubs, 3-2 with a 393 earned run average. 3 strikeouts for every walk. That's good. A batting average of 257 against.
Hello.
Power arm, upper 90s fastball.
We talked to Joe obviously a lot every day before the game, and he has certain expectations in certain situations. I'm guessing one of the things he'll tell us tomorrow is the Suarez opposite field homer off Justin Grimm.
Yeah,
that was very unexpected.
Yep, absolutely, and it wasn't a horrible pitch.
Towering fly out to right. Bryant circling, and he's got it.
It did not appear to be a real bad pitch on the replay. You know, sometimes the camera angle is such that, you know, the ball might have caught a little bit more of the plate than we see.
Hoover and Wood up in their respective bullpens. Hit hard by Barnhart into center. second consecutive hit.
Showed you the combined numbers for Tommy Hunter this year. His time with the Cubs, this is his 14th appearance. He has a 5.23 ERA.
Skip Schumacher, left-handed hitter off the bench. This is the spot that provided the go-ahead two-run homer by Adam Duvall. Came in his Reds debut.
A lasting first impression.
It's in there on a breaking ball. 0-2. Hendricks, Grimm, Richard, Rodney, Hunter. Justin Grimm had allowed 5 earned runs all year prior to tonight. Gave up 4 in the 6th inning as Schumacher fans. That's out number 2.
Yeah, and sometimes the law of averages just catch up with you, right? I mean, he's been so good for so long. He was bound to have a bad outing or two along the way. And you'd only allowed 2 home runs all year coming in to tonight, and gave up 2 long ones here.
One on Bourgeois. One on, 2 down, and high. It's 2-1. Blue Jays lost tonight 4-2, but Edwin Encarnacion extended his hitting streak. 26 games.
That's the club record. He's got to be closing in, doesn't he?
I think so. He's hitting over 400 during the streak. Here's a pitch. That one will make the seats. He went 2 for 4. And a 4-2 loss to the Indians. How about the Indians? They're still hanging around. They have now won 6 in a row. They're 2 games under 500, and they're still in the wild card race. Started the night 5 back. Still a lot would have to happen. They're playing some good ball. And ball. Russell flips to Castro, and that's the inning. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's getting late. We're about an inning away from Chapman time too. 7-5 Reds. with MLB.com at bat. At bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. At MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet. According to ESPN Stats and Info, Edwin Encarnacion is 2 away from Sean Green's Blue Jays record. 28-game hitting streak. Here's J.J. Hoover.
.75 ERA for the burly right-hander. Real good curveball. Snapped off a good one there to Coughlin.
Well, you don't have to get it all back, but as we said, you almost treat this like the ninth inning because Aroldis Chapman is already getting loose.
Yeah,
so
Ryan Price is treating it like the ninth inning too. He may use the big guy for 4 outs or so.
Well, when you're 5-20 the last 25 games, you take every opportunity when you have a late lead.
Right, and there haven't been a lot of save opportunities. There's only some kind of a weighted ball out there.
2 pitch, 2-2. .6'3", 245. J.J. Hoover, born in Pittsburgh, went to Calhoun Community College in Decatur, Alabama. Hit hard and fair into the corner. That will get the tying run to the plate. Coughlin to second. That is a leadoff double.
Now Chapman throws with more urgency down in the Reds bullpen.
Could you have made a case from Brian Price's perspective that Chapman starting this 8th inning would have made sense?
Yeah, I was thinking, I'm looking down, thinking the same exact thing, given where the Cubs were in their batting order.
Normally, a guy's not going to come in for a 2-inning save situation, but he could have said, look, get out of this inning quickly and we'll figure out the ninth.
Absolutely.
Most managers will not do that with an established closer.
Right. What we've seen Joe Madden do is, well, he's kind of established Grimm now. It's what he calls the mid-innings closer. We've seen him on occasion use Strope earlier than he normally does, depending on how the inning sets up. But rarely do you see a manager, if ever, I'm trying to think of an instance where I've seen it, I can't think of one, where the closer comes in to pitch the 7th or the 8th, because you identify that as the most prickly situation and then hope to get through the 9th. Ideally, you have guys who you feel comfortable with working the 7th, 8th, or 9th, and they're interchangeable.
Swing and a miss for strike 3. Bryant has hit some dramatic home runs. The wind has disappeared. One flag ringing this ballpark is moving much.
reliever has not allowed a home run to a right-handed batter this year. Might be due.
It's a big call. 0-2.
Good hard slider or cutter. Yeah, it's could have gone either way. We're a 6-game winner out of the bullpen this year and no losses. Last year he was 1-10. Now wins and losses can be very much a meaningless statistic for relievers. And a big turnaround for him in that regard. He's got a lot more outs on the ground. Just that ability there to stay down with the fastball. His curveball has always been a good ground ball pitch for him. Right. Kind of going through his mental checklist here. What's he going to try to put me away with? Good take.
Nothing in 2 to a full count.
Man on second base. Maybe Barnhart didn't want to give any signals. Might have just been a verbal. Let's throw this. Just in case Coughlin's starting to get a read on what we're trying to do back here.
They walked it. No give in there by Chris Bryant.
That at bat right there may define Bryant as much as anything he's done this year. That's kind of been his MO, where many hitters would chase that breaking ball off the plate. And he just takes his walk.
A Sleepy's call to the pen, and Chapman will try to get a 5-out save. We'll be back. Chapman's out there firing bullets at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, the big guy, obviously one of the best in the business. His velocity's actually down this year. He's averaging 99.6 miles per hour with his fastball. Last year averaged a little better than 100 miles per hour. We're picking at nits here just to give you a sense of how hard this guy throws. He mixes in sliders on occasion and once in a while even a changeup, but you got to be ready to hit the gas. Tommy La Stella has a reputation of being able to do just that, handle power stuff. So this is the ultimate challenge here for a left-handed hitter.
Ryan Price not messing around. He brings in his closer really early. One out in the 8th. 99, ball 1 on Lustello. 1 2-inning stint. That was July the 19th. The 9th and the 10th against Cleveland. Everything else has been an inning or less for Chapman. Over our heads on a foul, 1-1.
Chapman worked a couple of days ago against Milwaukee, picked up the save. Scoreless inning with a couple of punch-outs.
So on MLB.com, they have a StatCast leaderboard. Fastest pitches is one of the lists. They have a Chapman filter. 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-0-2. Why do they have a Chapman filter? Because I think about the top 100 or so pitches or more this season that have been thrown by Aroldis Chapman. Cholula Hot Sauce reading 102 are Chapman pitches. So if you want to know how hard everybody else throws, you got to have that filter.
Who's the hardest thrower? Who's the master blaster other than Chapman?
You want to know who's thrown the hardest pitch and not named Aroldis Chapman?
I do.
Nathan Eovaldi has hit 102.4 according to StatCast. McGee got him. Ball made by the home plate umpire Paul Schreiber.
Tough assignment for Lustello. Held off a couple of heaters and just couldn't check his swing on that last high one. Remember, Denorfia has been used, Herrera's been used. That leaves Montero and Caesar on the bench. Caesar will come out on deck now to hit after Castro.
Go. The throw's going to go to second. Out. Chris Bryant thrown out by Tucker Barnhart. That is a huge play, and it ends the 8th inning. Now, hang on a second. We're going to wait to see if Joe wants to challenge it, and he will not, as he was clearly out. So we will go to the 9th, still 7-5.
Belgian Toyota, more here with the Reds. Weekend set with the D-backs, and then off on a long road trip. St. Louis, Philly, and Pittsburgh.
Put on your dancing shoes. and dance the blues.
Oh man, I wish I had some of those when I was a kid. I entertained myself for hours.
Here's Travis Wood. Interesting decision to send the runners.
I like it. Down 2. Tough to string together hits against Chapman. If you're successful there, a little flair ties the ball game.
Former Red Travis Wood facing a guy, Jay Bruce. They were both taken in the same draft.
Sometimes as a manager you make decisions, it doesn't pan out, but I think I'm with Joe. I hate seeing clubs just wait back against elite closers thinking they're going to string a bunch of hits together, get a chance to make something happen. And Brian's capable. He's been good at stealing bases this year.
So Jay Bruce was a 12th overall pick in the first round of the 05 draft. The Reds' second pick was 60th overall, and they took Travis Wood in the second round.
Travis has given up runs in 3 of his last 4 appearances.
All 4. I was chatting with Travis before the game. He commented Justin Grimm, Mr. Strode, a couple of guys in the bullpen. They were so locked in last night, they had no idea. Joe Garrietta was working on history. And you know that will always result in a lot of ribbing by your teammates. Swing and a miss by Votto.
Appeared to be cheating on a heater there, fooled by the breaking ball. Bruce, excuse me, worth keeping an eye on. He'll run every now and then. He's stolen 9 bases this year.
Played outside. I think if you are a broadcaster with the Reds, maybe even a Reds player or a beat writer, and you routinely see Aroldis Chapman hit 101, 102, 103, you think that it's just kind of a normal occurrence. It happens obviously more often, way more often than it used to, but he is not the norm by any stretch. It is still strange to see triple digits regularly.
It's amazing in this time in the game when there are so many power arms that a guy could still stand out the way he does.
Yeah, Aroldis Chapman, if you're wondering, over the last 2 years has given up 3 home runs. As you mentioned, you're more likely to bloop in a hit than to slug against him.
Yeah, I think you watch a lot of games end with closers out there on the mound, and there's a guy standing on first base, and he stays there the whole inning in a 1-run game. thinking you're going to string a bunch of hits together or knock one out of the ballpark. I mean, it happens on occasion, but I think the better play is to be aggressive, be willing to take chances on the bases, force the action a little bit.
Trouble here. Back-to-back walks to Bruce and Votto. 3 more walks for Joey Votto. I can't even believe I'm saying it. He's more locked in than even he usually is. His last 3 games against the Cubs, he's now been on base 13 times. Phillips sends one in the air. This should be the first out. Bruce tags and will stop at second.
Frazier was batting in the 4th, and Kyle Hendricks pitched around him. He didn't intentionally walk him, but clearly was not going to give in to him. And then Jesus came up behind him with 2 outs. Had an RBI single that tied the ball game.
Strike called. And Frazier.
And then in the 5th, Joey Votto was intentionally walked with men on first and second. And 2 outs, and Brandon Phillips single. It's kind of the game within the game there. Those 2 strategy points. And again, easily to defend both of those decisions, to pitch carefully to Frazier and to intentionally walk Votto, even with runners on first and second, as good as he has been.
Thing is, he's pretty likely to walk anyway. So.
Yeah, and that's right. If you're thinking you're going to tiptoe around Votto, then just put him on.
Great attendance tonight, 34,017. Was a little more than that. Nice crowd tonight. And they're hoping the Cubs can make a late comeback.
If they don't, we'll try again tomorrow, and it will be Dan Herron pitching for the Cubs against Anthony DeSclafani.
Two and two. Five big ones by the Cardinals in the 7th. They now lead at home against Washington 8-5 in the top of the 8th. Dodgers with an early lead, 1-0, top 3 over the Giants in Los Angeles.
Big pitch, deserves careful consideration. tomorrow in L.A., it's Bumgarner and Greinke.
Called strike 3. Two down here in the ninth.
Todd Frazier getting into it with Paul Schreiber a little bit. Travis Wood busts a fastball over the outside corner. Great pitch.
Bruce, the runner at second, Votto's at first. The pitch to DeJesus, and he fouls. Houston, an 8-3 winner over Seattle. Dallas Keuchel got his 16th win. Trumbo homered twice for the Mariners in the loss. Lowry, Conger, and Correa went deep for the AL West leaders. If you mentioned it earlier, Bartolo Colon, a winner tonight. That's 3-1 over the Phillies. He's 12-11. Big win for New York. Reds 0-2 is outside. So if the Nationals don't come back, they'll be 6.5 out in the East. Inside.
The Cincinnati team has a tragic number of 3. The combination of Cardinal wins, Reds losses totaling 3, and they're mathematically eliminated. Not that they're harboring any hopes of getting back into the pennant chase.
Work with a 2-2. Spoiled by DeJesus.
It just speaks to how good the Cardinals have played this year, that there's a team this early. We're not even to September. Well, tomorrow's September 1, and the Reds are on the brink of elimination.
By the way, in case you are wondering and you don't like the decision to send the runners, base runners this year are 8 for 8, or were 8 for 8 against Aroldis Chapman before Bryant got thrown out. So a completely defensible move based just on those numbers. Almost hit him. his move on the 3-2. It's outside, and he has walked. The bases loaded.
If you're looking for a silver lining, it's a long time for Chapman to sit over there in the first base dugout for a guy who's not used to pitching, going in and sitting down and coming back out.
3-walk ninth inning for Travis Wood. He goes 2/3, and it'll be another lefty, James Russell, to take over and try to get this final out. Sleepy's call to the pen. We'll be back in a moment. More, the Cap and Haw Show, presented by Horwitz and Associates. Tomorrow morning, the guys welcome longtime Reds and NFL on Fox broadcaster Tom Brenneman into the studio. Don't miss the Cap and Haw Show weekday mornings at 9 on Comcast Sportsnet. Sleepy's call to the pen. Left-hander James Russell is in.
Yeah, when you hear Hank Jr. singing, you know James Russell's coming out of the Cubs bullpen. Well, ERA's taking a beating here. James overall has had a nice year, but a couple disastrous outings lately, really inflating that ERA. Gave up 5 runs to the Tigers in an inning and 2/3 back on August 19th. And out in San Francisco on this trip on the 27th, he allowed 4 runs in 1 inning of work.
Curve strike to Suarez. Two. Castro, a pinch hitter. Addison Russell due up in the bottom of the 9th. Ryan Lamar, that's Headley.
No relation to Jacques Lamar. The old gray Lamar. Suarez 1 out of 4. The one a big one. 2-run home run off Justin Grimm in the 6th after leadoff walk to DeJesus. The fastball outer third and down a little bit and popped it into the bleachers and right.
Ground ball, Castro. Got to make a play. Throw to first late. And the Reds add a run to their lead, 8-5.
He was going to be able to make the play on that one, just could not secure the baseball. So 3 walks and an error in the inning.
Waiting on the official scoring decision. Bob Rosenberg. Will call it an error. I think that is the right call. So Barnhart now batting righty. Base is still loaded. Second error of the game by Castro.
Cubs having one heck of a month, 19-8 in the month of August coming into play here tonight. Unfortunately for them, the Pirates also 19-8. The Cardinals 18-9, I believe. So dead even with the Pirates this month, just gaining one game on the Cardinals. Despite all that winning. And despite the likely outcome here tonight, still with a very comfortable cushion over the Giants.
Giants ahead 3-1 in the third in LA. Going to the ninth in St. Louis. Cardinals 8, Nationals 5. Pirates off, correct?
Yes, start a series with the Brewers tomorrow.
1-2. Swing. We'll do it again. Congrats to Pat Venditti, the switch pitcher we saw in spring training. Yesterday got his first major league win with the Oakland A's. Mark Shapiro, Cleveland Indians president, will take over as president and CEO of the Toronto Blue Jays after the season. Almost a quarter century with the Indians. For Shapiro, he'll take on a new challenge.
Well, he's catching that Toronto organization at the right time. He's catching them on the upswing.
Chapman is on deck. I saw him walking back from the bullpen. Do you know what he did down there?
Yeah, he was down there throwing.
Was he throwing from the mound?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Interesting. Two and two.
Seems to me there was a time in this game when that wasn't allowed.
Yeah, I mean, if you had a big batting cage in the tunnel, you could play
Right.
catch
I mean,
in
I
there
think
anyway.
it should. Yeah.
So what's the difference, right?
Exactly. I never understood why it wouldn't be allowed.
I think the only limitations really on a pitcher should be what he throws from the gain mound, and Those are in place. So, yeah, I don't think it really matters. I don't want guys to get hurt. They can't throw for possibly a 25, 30-minute span, depending on how long the half inning goes. And this has been a long one. Line drive, center field, base hit. Votto scores. Lamar trying to score, and he will. And they've broken it open now. It's 10-5, and Chapman will get a plate appearance.
Now it seems perfectly reasonable at this point to let somebody else pitch the ninth if you're Brian Price.
I don't think he's going to.
But it's a safe situation for Chapman, and you can't take away that guy's save. But, you know, if you think big picture, there's a chance Chapman will throw enough pitches in the ninth to render himself unavailable tomorrow. And again, the Reds are out of it, so it doesn't matter a whole lot to them. It probably matters more to Brian Price that he throws Chapman a bone here and makes sure he gets a save. But if they were in a pennant race, I think it would be folly to send Chapman back out there for the ninth.
Ground ball to short. Russell will throw to Castro. It's dropped. And the Reds will add a run. That'll be an error on Starlin, his third of the night.
Wow.
11-5.
Yeah, and obviously no excuse, but by way of explanation, a little hitch here by Russell upsets the timing a little bit. So he looks to first and then comes back to second base, and maybe Castro got caught assuming that Addison was going to go across the diamond. You know, clearly a ball that Starlin should have caught, but extenuating circumstances.
Into the corner off the bat of Bourgeois. Barnhart is in. Chapman around third. He's going to score from first. 2-run double. Jason Bourgeois. 13-5. This inning is completely blown up.
And the Cubs lefties, Wood and Russell in particular, of late have had a hard time just finishing guys. Obviously, a defensive meltdown here in this inning as well. But it's been a tough little stretch here for Travis and James. And Clayton Richards has had his ups and downs too. So Joe Maddon right now, I think his confidence level in his lefties probably at a season low right now.
Side on Jay Bruce. I'm going to guess that's the first time Chapman's ever done that in the big leagues, for sure, right? First to home. He didn't look all that uncomfortable.
No, he did not.
First career run.
Stretching it out pretty good. Talking about Frank Robinson earlier, celebrating his 80th birthday from Beaumont, Texas. That's Jay Bruce's hometown. James Russell, a UT guy, was born in Cincinnati. His dad pitched for the Reds, among others.
Castro, a nice pick on a one-hopper. Tough defensive night. And a nice play there to get Jay Bruce. Long ninth inning. They add, what, 6 to their lead. For the Reds in the top of the ninth. Aroldis Chapman trying to get a 5-out save. Lamar will stay in and play center. Bourgeois has gone to left. Here's Castro to lead it off.
Talk about bringing a gun to a knife fight. Chapman with an 8-run lead.
98 and a strike. It's his BP fastball. So let's see. Matthews, pitcher of record, is that right? Got so crazy there in the middle.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Got the final out of the bottom of the fifth. He actually gave up a hit in order to get that out at third base, but then the sixth is when the Reds scored the 4 runs.
He threw one pitch, gave up a hit, and he figures to be the winner here.
Justin Grimm, the Cubs pitcher of record. A rare bad one tonight for him. He only recorded 1 out, gave up 3 hits, 2 big home runs. And he chased one in the dirt. Ball gets away from Barnhart. Caesar. So this is it, JD. This is the last regular season game played with 25-man rosters. A lot of extra bench guys, bullpen guys starting tomorrow night.
It's a challenge this time of year for a team in contention. You want to make sure you cover all your bases and add to your depth. But there is a fear of calling too many guys up. I guess just logistically getting to a crowded clubhouse, guys climbing all over each other.
BP. Yeah. Well, I don't want to get into the long spiel that I usually get into every September, that I think every game day roster should be even. You're allowed as a manager maybe to make an even egregious mistake as that ball line to left caught by Bourgeois. And you can just go matchup without much recourse. If I feel like strategically I've got an advantage in the dugout, I don't want the other manager to be able to match up all night. But
yeah,
those are the current rules in which we play.
Moves and counter moves.
I think we're going to go to a taxi squad situation at some point. It may not be this year, next year, the year after, but I think enough people would like to see it. You get big league time, and you just simply submit a game day roster. If you want to take your 4 starters who aren't working out of that mix and put extra bullpen guys in, that's fine, but I think we should cap it at a certain number. Okay, I'm done. I won't mention it again. Well,
we got a month. There's going to be another blowout game somewhere along the way. We're going to have to discuss it next time in the September game when there's 13 pitching changes.
2-0 on Russell. Going inside. 3-0. Looks like Chapman's just kind of, I would say, easing it up there, but 98, 95 instead of 102, 103, which we saw in the 8th inning. Driven deep to left, way back and gone. That's a home run for Addison Russell. And he connects against Chapman. 13-6.
Matt Caesar had a real good swing against Chapman. He lined out. Russell lined one into the seats. Double home run, 3 driven in for Addison Russell here tonight. Beautiful swing. It's the Ford home run replay.
Again, another fastball at 95.
Russell joins the ranks with double digits. Yeah, it looks like Chapman is just trying to conserve a little bit here. That may change after that home run, because he really hasn't had to throw that many pitches in pursuit of this 2-inning save. There you go. Addison got his attention.
Yeah. If you want to know what his mood is, just look at the readout on the gun. It went from comfortable to I don't like giving up home runs. Now 100.
Take that. Wow. That's a nasty slider. And that's why a lot of people think that it might make sense to put Chapman in the rotation, because he's not a one-trick pony. He also has a changeup. That fastball slider combination, that's Randy Johnson like. There's a changeup.
Strike 3 called on a fastball at 101, and that'll do it. So Chapman gets the final 5 outs. 3 strikeouts. He did give up the home run to Russell, but the Reds grab the lead in the middle innings and pull away late as they grab game 1, 13-6.
Yeah, and after a dramatic win with Jake Arrieta pitching the no-hitter yesterday, Cubs come home here today. We thought maybe they might be a little fatigued, but certainly scored enough runs. Just a rare meltdown from Justin Grimm, and then a big add-on at the end for the Reds.
Benny's Beverage Depot toasted the game. Adam Duvall, just brought up from the minors, recently acquired from San Francisco, and a big go-ahead home run. 2-run shot off the bench in his Reds debut. So that'll wrap up our coverage from the ballpark. We have more to come from our studio. The final score tonight, the Reds 13, the Cubs 6. We're back here with you Wednesday, 12:30 for our pregame coverage. Reds and Cubs here on CSN to wrap up the series. Now for JD and our entire crew, Len Casper inviting you to stay tuned for Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs postgame live.